2024.
This was on the ballot.
Yeah.
And they didn't understand, it was not.
I don't think it was understood very
No,
well.
it was not understood.
Wasn't.
Yeah.
At the time, Portland had put up
Right.
like a ranked choice vote.
Yeah, right.
And they,
It
I
was
think,
very confusing.
yeah, I think the wording didn't explain it well enough, and
Right.
people couldn't distinguish between that and the ranked
Ranked
choice
choice,
voting, which
right.
this is not.
We usually put that phrase into this time. This is not ranked choice.
Not
ranked.
that might solve it.
It should be in there.
So yeah, so so then you're familiar with that proposal. It is the exact same proposal we're discussing that was brought back up. We can revise the ballot title and the question and all that information that goes out, and we can kind of workshop that because we have till August 14th.
Yes.
Yeah, August 14th to make the filing. So we have time. Time's on our side. But it's the exact same proposal that was already approved by the city council to go out, removing the numbered positions, making it the top 3 vote getters, removing the prelim, the primary, and then also handling the vacancies, how the vacancies are filled. So it's the same 3 revisions to the charter, which made a lot of sense, but I think you're absolutely right. The communication is where it broke down.
And with the, how we run the elections now, people will come up to me and say, what's position 1, what's position 2? I'm like, it really doesn't mean anything. Well, why is it there? I don't know. So,
And what areas it is, in my area.
right,
Yeah.
yeah, they don't
That's the main
understand
one.
that.
Yeah. What do you, which area
What
are
are
you
you
representing?
representing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
we don't do wards, so we don't do
Yeah.
sections.
Yeah, right, and that is confusing.
Yeah. And so if we could get the word out, that it's just gonna be the top 3 vote getters fill those positions. I think that's a very simplified process for them.
Mhm.
People.
Will you remind me, because it's, however many are running, it's vote for 3.
3
Yeah.
running each time, and then the mayor.
Right.
Over 2.
So,
Yeah.
so each voter would get to select 3 of the available candidates to vote for.
Right.
And then the tallies go, highest 3 get it, correct?
That's
For
the
the
way.
That's
regular
what
council
it says.
positions, that's
For
how,
the council
yeah,
positions.
not for the mayor. The mayor will stay as is.
And mayor, again, because I remember this was a point of discussion that
He's
Nicole
too.
Howard brought up, because we really don't want asymmetrical elections where you're having 4 or 3 in a mayor run one time and then only 3 the next.
No, the
So,
mayor runs every 2
Mayor
years.
is still every 2
The mayor would
years,
have
is
to be
what we
every-
determined, right?
Yeah.
So it's always 3 councilors and a
And a
mayor, but the councilors would alternate.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
just like they do now.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
This
I
is
just
the way it
think,
used to be a long time. I
Right.
remember when we voted that way.
Right.
the way we changed it.
I don't know why I wasn't on the council. I don't know why it changed.
Steve had offered a little bit of historical perspective on that, but and it was something to do with what a surrounding community had done or something along those lines. I don't know that there were necessarily problems with it, but I mean I think as I understood it, the intent originally, and I think remains this way, the idea being, it's pretty awkward when you've got somebody running unopposed, other people running
Right.
for a contended seat, and each position is identical. We all represent the entire city. We're not districted. It's like a larger city would be. It just doesn't make any sense to have position numbers unless you're working with districts.
Right.
The other, I think, point to be made is the hope is that, we could avoid elections that are targeting individuals, why somebody is better than somebody else, and keep it more focused on issues. That's the hope. Obviously, there's no guarantee that happens, but when there's a good chance that somebody else is going to be ranked in those 3, you're not running against somebody, it's a group. What you're really doing is you're running for a seat of the council. And so I think our hope would be that elections now are focused around issues, not around people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell the voters why you deserve a seat at this table, why your ideas are better, or,
Or you have better experience or whatever.
sure.
Because sometimes when you run against somebody, you want both of them.
Sure.
Well,
And
and
that
that's
was
the
one of the reasons- yeah, that
scenario
was the
of,
scenario.
okay, this one's running unopposed, and this race has 3 people in it, and this race has
Right.
2 people in it. And I like both of those 2 people. I don't like the unopposed one,
Yeah,
so you're kind of forced into it.
Mhm.
And it's sort of weird how we pick anyway. It's like, I'll just pick this number.
Right.
Yeah.
When run.
When you file.
It's
Yeah.
odd.
Yeah.
If passed, would it take effect January 1 then? And so the primary, it would be January 1 following, correct?
Following year,
Yeah, 2 years from now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's the first time you'd see in that.
2028.
The first time you'd see it applied.
Yeah.
There's no one running
Correct.
Yeah.
next year.
Correct. I would assume that our charter would go into effect January
January 1st.
2027.
Seven, right, but this wouldn't be, wouldn't apply.
Yeah, it was interesting to me because the last time I talked to dozens of people who all, when they understood it, were absolutely in favor of it, and then you were like, oh my gosh, I voted against it because I thought it was the right choice.
Yeah. That's-
So,
yeah.
so my suspicion is that that is exactly what happened, and so I think if we do this, the focus has got to be on the messaging, and clarity, so that people understand what it is they're voting for and can make a decision with both eyes open. And that, we need an educated decision, not one that's made because they don't understand it or because they fear something that it's not.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's very doable in the ballot title and the information we produce.
Right.
And we could probably add some additional roundtable, or we can put some information out at the community town hall. One way or another, we can make sure that information, at least the opportunity is there for people to be able to.
Clarification.
So the one disadvantage to, I think, a general election setup of this type would be the scenario where you have 30 people run, right? And then the votes are diluted potentially, where someone could be elected with a substantial minority of the vote, just because they were spread out so much. I don't think that's likely. Certainly history would argue otherwise, but it might be interesting as we look at educating people, just to go back a certain number of years and say, hey, this is the highest number of candidates that we ever had run in an election cycle in the last 20 to 30 years. Just so that, because I think that is, as I look at it, that is a disadvantage of this system as opposed to what we currently have. Again, likely to happen, I don't think so, but I think that would be good information to have to share with people as we educate them about, because the city has an impartial position, right? You have to.
Yeah.
We don't, but you do. And so as you go out, you're gonna need to present the pros and the cons. That to me is the most glaring con.
Yeah, I know just in the last 7.5 years since I've been here, I think the most counselors that I've seen run is usually 2 for each position, but there might be a third thrown in. So that's at least 8 and no more than probably 10 or 11 altogether. Since I've been here in 7.5 years.
Other things that we vote for where they say pick 2 or pick 3.
Yeah, right, and judges, and there's lots of different places that do that. I think everybody understands what that concept is.
Yeah, I have a question about the vacancies, the change in the vacancy. So it's eliminating language on how a vacancy would be filled by election when there's 2 or more years remaining. Are we gonna get rid of that?
That's what we proposed 2 years ago. Nothing's changed. This is identical to what we put on the ballot.
Why did we propose that?
I don't know if
I think it was for ease of not having to do an election in an odd year,
I'll do a special election.
Yeah,
because that costs us money.
Yeah, I
that's
think
what
it'd be
we
fine to
did.
just do an appointment.
Yeah, I think
It's
our
less than
idea
2
was
years, right?
to
That's
take,
the idea.
This said
No, it's-
eliminated, it's anytime.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
someone is in office for a month, then it's by appointment, and then they're stuck with that person for 4 years.
so we talked about that. We talked about doing an application. We advertise, they come in, they fill out an application like a job, and then we would probably obviously reach out to Wyatt just to make sure that our thinking was right. But like you guys would set up to maybe interview or something in an open public meeting of like
that's what
certain
we,
questions with council.
Yes.
You've done that
yeah,
before.
we've done that a lot of.
Yeah, and I
several
think that
times.
was why we went in that direction, because it eliminates the special election, it doesn't cost the city anything. Because if we have to put it on the ballot on an odd year, we have to pay for it,
How much is that?
a lot of money.
Like,
We've researched it, off the top of my head, I don't even know, I can't remember, do you know? I know we've talked to Lisa Feek about it, but it's not worth our time,
Thousands.
probably.
And I doubt too many times you're gonna have somebody after a month or 2, they're gonna be here, maybe because they move or something, it's gonna be a while before they go off.
Or,
yeah,
so-
God forbid, something
Something
bad
It
happens.
happens,
get
yes,
sick,
right,
or-
right. But still, it's never been an issue
No, the other issue you could run into is nobody running, and then you have the vacancy.
Yeah, right, we don't want, so we appoint them. Yeah.
Because
Finish out the 2-year.
Jim
To the next
Whitman
one.
moved.
He
He
was,
did.
was it John that came in?
Yeah, and that
Or
was
John
during a
was
general
his
election year.
appointment.
So
And
it
that was
happened to be during it, so he, so
And
he
filled the
resigned.
remainder of that, and then was on the ballot for the next.
Yeah, on the next one, so 2 years, every 2 years, I mean, you would only be appointing somebody for 2 years. Because then that next 2-year one, they would be up for election.
Oh, so
Sure,
even if that one wasn't up, so in the scenario
Right.
of they move
Is that-
after a month, we'll still have an election in 2 years.
Wait,
so
is
it
that
would-
correct, or does it
Is
go
that
the
what
remainder?
you, that's the
Sure,
way
it
you
says
did it?
For the remainder of the term.
Yeah. I
So that
think
would
it's
be
the
4 years.
It could be
Okay.
4
Oh,
years.
that's not how we use, okay.
There's a way that you do it so that, yeah, if they fill one and it's long, then they hop in the next general election.
Right, that's how it
Does
happens.
that cost the city money, is that what you're saying, Stacey, or no?
No.
Cause if that doesn't cost the city extra money, then I would propose making it for the 2
2
years, so just for the next cycle.
Until the next cycle
So-
happens.
Until the next general
Cause we're
election.
doing elections every
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah,
Is that how it was written before?
No,
Like,
it's not.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we
Before.
did, that's how we used to do it.
Yeah, I would suggest maybe doing it that way, so there could be a year where you have 4 councilors and a mayor on the ballot, doing it that way, but what that election would be for is would be for the remainder of that
So
4-year
it falls
term.
back
It
into.
would be
a
like
normal
shall
be a
continue
2-year
until the following general
Exactly, it
election.
would be a
Right.
2-year term.
Right,
And
That
then
might be a
how would
better-
you decide which one got that 2-year appointment? Would it be the 4th place finisher or the 1st place?
Ooh. All right, keep it at 4.
well, you could do the 4th position, couldn't you, that, or you could have a separate one, I don't, we didn't have to worry about that ever, so I don't
That's
know.
That
assuming
worked
you
out
have
really
4.
clearly.
Yeah, it always worked out,
It might just be cleaner to leave it as it is then.
Yes.
Cleaner, but
And
is
it's
it
assuming
fair?
you have 4 running.
right, that's true.
But is it fair? And
Well,
is
I
it-
guess if
does
you
it
guys
give
don't
the
like
people
who
what
you
they
voted
want?
in, you guys can vote them out. Isn't that how it works? That costs more money too. If the council.
Okay, so,
If-
they, let's say after a year.
If they
yeah,
appoint
they would have
somebody,
2
oh,
years.
appoint somebody, then they can
I mean, we've
also
had that.
run and appoint them, couldn't they?
I think the last person.
Only, I
appointed
think
was
only for
Diane.
reason for
Of
cause.
that,
Didn't
okay.
have a term.
Once they're,
I don't know,
Sworn
I
in.
feel like you guys, we had this discussion and you guys all decided that's how you wanted it, and you were the same city council, so. I don't know why.
I can see that, but I think the last one I remember doing was for Lynn. She filled in for, I don't remember who left, because we had a year of people leaving. I don't know, I guess we scared them away. But no, they all moved away. And I just remember Lynn, because she doesn't remember being appointed, and I don't know why either. I mean, it's amazing, 'cause I remember we were up at one of the meetings, or not here, but I think we're upstairs during one of our sessions when we were advertising or talking to the city managers. And everybody else up there said, yeah, they were appointed. You said, no. Yeah.
So I think it sounds to me like it's simplest to keep it the way it is.
It would be the simplest to do that.
Especially because of what we were just talking about.
Yeah, I can support that.
We'll keep it the way it's red line, that's how we had it 2 years ago, changed it.
Is that
Is that
how
what you're talking about?
Yeah, so if somebody were to vacate a position, the council would appoint that replacement to fill the remainder of the term, not just until the next 2-year election cycle, but it would be for the remainder.
Yeah.
I'm okay with
that? That probably makes more sense.
And then Wyatt, one other question, I know that you're gonna work on the ballot title and all the things. For direction for staff, like for, factual information that we want to share with the public and all that, should we just work on getting that stuff out now before you give us the ballot title? Cause I was, just reading through RS and stuff, once that ballot title is kind of produced back to us and we have to do that 7-day in the newspaper and the challenge, like, kind of halts what we can do,
Right.
right?
Like, so you're talking about getting like a frequently asked question, like something out already to the public?
Yeah, I mean, I know that, so in the packet, I put in like there was a flyer that we had put in the water and sewer bills, and I had sent it off to the elections division last year for safe harbor, just to make sure that we weren't gonna get in trouble for persuading like a yes or no vote. So that's what we use, and I guess that's kind of what I'm talking about. Like, I know that was okay, but like if, like John feels really strongly about, the vacancies or whatever, but as soon as you do the ballot title and we start the process, then we kind of have to,
We're
because it'll
stopped.
be a referral, like we have to stop, but they still can.
So if you want to do this ahead of time, because we have the framework for the ballot title and everything ready to go,
Okay,
and we have a couple months, so you could definitely do a little.
I'm just wondering if we can use the same ones.
If the state's already approved it, I see no reason.
With the exception of, do we need to alter the verbiage for what you were saying, so we weren't doing rank order?
Yeah, we might put something in there that this is not.
Yeah, I can, maybe I'll email you the Word document, we could play around with it and try to get it on one page, and then I can always send it over to, state elections, they're kind of weird with
Yeah,
language,
Make sure
but-
they're okay with it.
Yeah.
So I remember last time this happened, we had discussed accounting, or appointing like a council special committee or something, that could work on educating voters in a way that the city officials cannot. What I don't know, and maybe you can inform us here, what is how that would work, say with some of the town hall meetings and things like that the city has, sort of created for dialogue with citizens. If, could counselors come and present at that, or does that then cross that line with,
Because it's city.
because it's a city?
If it's a city sponsored town hall, I would not do that.
Perfect.
But we could do, the next one after July is in October, September, October, so in theory, I could probably cancel that one and we could just do it as a council, town hall.
Oh, that makes sense.
That would be nice.
And just only talk about the
We
referrals,
just wanna make sure we stay within bounds.
Yeah.
Crossing.
And I'm in the League of Women Voters, and they are doing, some voter education, and they're working to
that
set
hard.
up, so we could partner with them, at least in peace, cause they're nonpartisan, they just wanna get voter information out to the voters. But there's something that they're doing in September and something in October, and I could get those dates for you. But that,
Yeah, that'd be great.
yeah.
If we do a counselor town hall though, do we have to be careful of quorum still? So would
We
it
just
have to
make
be
it a
only
public
3?
meeting.
As long as
Yeah,
it's
we-
a public meeting.
Okay,
and I'll just,
perfect. So you just have to record.
yeah,
Along those lines then, it wouldn't really matter if it was partisan or not if we were all there, right? Like if we were just all sharing our ideas, really. To explain, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, the league is doing like some forums, like candidate forums and discussions on things that are on the ballot.
Exactly.
It's coming up.
You could take that targeted opportunity to talk about the gas, tax as well.
Yeah.
maybe you can get us some dates and then we can kind of wrap our heads around it, and maybe we can reach out to you, and just make sure we're staying in the guidelines of what we need to do.
We'll make sure.
Figure it out. We can carry on.
Did you have something you wanted to add to
Well,
this?
I was just curious about why only on the general election if we're afraid of people, if we're afraid of a pool that's too large, why would we do that? But I don't think that would actually be an issue, so.
I mean, you understand the.
I know, I understand the purpose, yeah, I just wasn't sure I was in agreement with it. Yeah.
Okay. Unless you want to talk about this topic anymore, we can go to the next one.
Yeah, I don't have the dates. I have to-
Yeah, you can let me know.
All right, so ultimately, so we're transitioning now to talking a little bit about the, what we've gotten accomplished in association with the education efforts connected to the gas tax. Staff has been operating with the understanding that we are in fact going to put something on the ballot, but we wanted to be able to provide input back to you in regards to what we've been able to get from the community as of what would make it palatable to get it on the get it passed. when it comes right down to it is all the conversations that we've had so far, most start off with a don't want it thought process, but by the time we get done talking about the various different nuances associated with the street user fee and what we're doing on that front to try and make it more equitable, as well as really the reality of 100% of those funds coming back to our streets and roads, then I have to say I feel like people are walking away. They come across to me like they're willing to entertain a yes. I'm hesitate to say that they're going to say yes. There are certainly a significant number of people, especially since we've been doing it. I shouldn't say significant. Some people at the farmers market that don't even want to have the conversation. They'll come in and give their opinion and say no tax, and then that's as much as they'll stay into the conversation. Bottom line is I think we're running out of time in regards to be able to get better information and quality information to be able to shape it further. I think where we're at is we just need to make a decision on Wyatt shared some information with us today that where we were looking at the potentiality of being able to do it as locals don't have to pay the tax, but transients would, that there may be some issues that would come in regards to that. And so that leaves us back at the idea that we just go ahead and do a local gas tax and then make a determination in regards to what that amount is that we want to put onto the ballot.
I think it would be cleaner just to let everybody pay the tax myself.
I don't think you can legally.
How we.
How does
That's
Hawaii,
Yeah,
how
that's
does
what I
Hawaii
don't
do that
think
kind of
there's any
stuff?
way you can do that.
Right.
I mean, maybe if you're
Yeah,
a
Hawaii.
university, you can distinguish between a resident and non-resident. Get outside of that scenario, or fishing licenses. I don't think you can do that with a gas tax. Am I wrong?
And that just seems like more work for gas stations, which.
Yeah. Hawaii
It'd
uses
definitely
cards.
be easier just to do
Hawaii
it, but I think
Oh.
the only reason why we're encouraging more dialogue down that front was simply to try and get to a yes.
Right.
But we didn't tell anybody that's what we were doing either. We just simply said, these are the types of things we're investigating.
Well, I mean, really, as I think we've discussed, there are really only two alternatives. So one is we do this through a gas tax. That's voter approved. Would be partially offset by non-residents who would fuel up at our stations, right? I shouldn't say offset, but we would gain additional revenues through that mechanism. The other alternative is to do this through the sewer,
The user fee.
right? Which is council done, no voter action on it,
Right.
and we get no additional revenues for non-residents.
And third option is
No.
status quo, and you get what you get as far as roads go.
Streets continue to deteriorate.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
So those are our three.
What I can tell you too is, of course, next month we have scheduled the service fee work session, where we'll get together and talk about it. And I think we need to take seriously the opportunity to be able to put on a public safety service fee that we would leverage through the same mechanism that we're doing with the street user fee. And so, one way or another, the people are going to feel a pinch, and it's going to be expensive. We are actually, we have a lot of work going on right now in order to be able to, one of the things that came out in significant conversation in all of this was the lack of equitable application of the street user fee throughout the community. And so we have work in progress right now that is going to put us positioned better, I would say 6 months to a year from now, where it will be more equitably applied. And so we will get I'm not able to say yet what the increase is going to look like, but we will get an increase, even staying at the $8 per month. We will get a decent increase just in the equitable application of that. But we're 8 months to a year before we start seeing that coming in, let alone being able to realize it enough to be able to do better with the streets.
and equitable is how many taps are.
Right.
More so, like you go up to the apartment complex, you have 40 apartments, one meter. And so by the time we're done with this, 40 apartments will be paying it, not just one. So there's at least that light on the, if we're not in a hurry to apply an increase to the street user fee.
Yeah, we gotta get on that. We wanted that done 5 years ago.
Yes, we did.
It's just been kicked under the rug.
I'm very confident you won't have to say that 5 years from now. But and it's not the place for us to talk about it now, but I do think we have to have a really serious conversation about that public safety service one. But we'll do that next month.
Yeah, my upfront concern would be that anything you stack onto this ballot probably reduces the probability.
Oh, no, what I said would be the street use, like similar to the street user fee.
It doesn't go up.
So if we did the public safety service one, that would go on the
That's
same.
council
Yeah, that's council.
Yeah, it would be council directed, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I think since we've mentioned that the gas tax with so many people, I've heard it from a lot of people,
Mhm.
I think we need to continue with exploring it and keep it on the ballot for this year.
So, some of the things that I authored in here, I think for the most part, we could probably ignore what I provided to you, and what we probably just need to agree on now is what we want the amount to be. Most of our conversations to date is centered on about 3 cents a gallon.
That's what everybody's hearing.
What's
Yeah.
Pendleton's?
That's a good question.
We had all of that in front of us a long time ago, 2 years ago
Yeah.
probably,
But I don't know.
and it seemed like they were like 4 cents. And, yeah, like compared some,
So,
I mean, I
something
think
that we
since
might want to
Since you have
consider
total
though.
public 3%, 3
Yeah.
3, yeah,
cents, I think that would be the most logical place to keep it. Not go up, not any higher anyway.
Something that may be worth dialoguing about here though is what if we considered, if we wanted to get
60
aggressively
cents.
after repairs, the potential of authoring it so that it would be a limited duration 6 cent gas tax that we can put in so we can get after it, while at the same time while we're affecting this fiscal transformation initiative effort, we may be able to be positioning ourselves to be able to solve the problem internally, while at the same time, if we're not, we can always put it back to vote in the future. So I would say at least be worth conversing about a 6 cent for a maximum of 10 years. That gives us the opportunity to try and solve the problem, and gives the community the opportunity to think, feel, or believe that at least this might go away and we're looking for other solutions to try and solve the problem.
so my calculation, if you have a 20-gallon tank, 3 cents, that's 60 cents per tank.
About $28 more a year on average.
Right.
20 to 25 bucks. It's less than 25 if you figure that somebody drives 15,000 miles a year, which is, that's actually greater than I think the average for our area.
Our area probably.
I think we've been saying that messaging enough that I would really hesitate to raise that, because I think, I don't want voters to feel like they were just.
You don't wanna kill it by getting too greedy.
And that's what I feel like it would be, since we've been talking about 3%, or 3 cents.
Yeah.
Maybe go to 6.
Well, I can say that I haven't been specifically telling people we're gonna do 3 cents.
No,
or
I
anything
know
like
that, but
but
that number keeps coming out, because I hear it from other people.
But $1.20 a tank versus 60 cents a tank sounds
Sounds better,
different too,
Yeah.
you know. 60 cents is less than $1, $1.20 is more, and that psychologically,
But so I'm good with where you're at, I'm hearing 3 cents.
That's what I-
Is there appetite for the limited duration?
I like the lemon bird.
I like limited duration.
I think so too. And then we can check it out after 10
I
years.
don't.
No,
Yeah,
you want it to
I
last?
Yeah,
You
I
wanna
think
leave
in
it?
perpetuity, and the reason is that
but
we're just.
you can repeal it.
Right.
That's true.
And
but-
you can vote on it again in 10 years if we need to. The only
Right.
reason I say that is because people think if you don't, you might say we're gonna get rid of it after, but it never goes away. We know that.
I don't think we've said we're gonna get rid of it. We've listed that as an option.
Oh, the only time we said we'd get rid of it is if the state tax
Right,
went through.
But I mean-
Aside from that, we never
I mean,
communicated.
it's kind of like people saying, well, we can have sales tax for 5 years. Well, we know it's never gonna go away if you get it.
So my thought process, if you allow me to contribute, that I guess I'm forcing it anyway, but.
Go for it.
Is the difference between a yes and a no could be the word term, limited duration.
Yeah, I agree.
And so I feel like it's at least worth saying like, hey, we're trying to solve the problem. Give us the opportunity to solve it. Then plus, if we're doing a good job with what they're giving us, and if we have to revisit it again in the future, well, then we can at least have proof that, hey, you voted in before, let alone if we actually get the opportunity to solve the problem and it goes away after 10 years.
I could go with a 10-year.
I can too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And in
So,
that time, they'll see what's happening too.
Yeah, it does go on.
I feel like you're gonna create a bigger problem for
At that-
future council.
at that time,
Right.
it's gonna be,
Right, but the reality is, the cost of labor, cost of materials, that's not gonna go down.
That's
So,
true.
so it's only gonna go up. And now, instead of swallowing a 3 cent a gallon, they're gonna be swallowing a 6 or an 8.
In the future, in 10 years, you
Keep
mean?
this in perpetuity, it can be repealed. But as it stands, the 3 cent a gallon gas tax by our financial measures still doesn't put us really where we wanna be financially. We're still gonna be behind. And so again, I think I would take the sunset completely off the table. This is something we need to have.
But if we end up at a no today, because of the, I mean, I realize we can what if this today.
Today, yeah.
But if the difference between a yes and a no is that, like, I'd rather us get something and be able to do some work than to go back to the way that it was.
And I don't perceive it that way. I don't perceive that a 10-year sunset is the difference between a yes and a no. As I've talked with voters, I don't perceive that. They're either gonna vote for it or not. I don't think a sunset is gonna sway.
I've heard people say they like the idea of it sunsetting, because you see what's happened, getting the money, whatever, and then know it's gonna be done with.
Yeah.
And then again, if it comes up again, then we put it back on.
I could even see going to a 5 cent one with a sunset of 10 years.
I don't think that would pass.
I just,
They're looking at their pocketbooks right now. I just paid 90 cents for 2 mushrooms to put on my pizza.
Yeah, but we did sign a memorandum of agreement today, so tax should be, gas prices should be going down.
Yeah.
and I guess my argument is, if I think we keep this on the ballot every single year until it passes, because at some point, people get the message. They see our streets continue to deteriorate. They get the response from Kyle when they call and ask him, hey, when is my residential road gonna be paved? And I drove down a connecting road to get here, and I dodged probably a dozen potholes on that road, including one this big around and this deep, right? So, I have to straddle it with my tires, because there's not room on either side with the cars that park there if they're parked in the wrong way. So I've learned how to do it. Like, we all do this on
Right.
certain roads. We have our path that we navigate. And at some point, people are gonna keep hearing Kyle's, response, which is, hey, when's this gonna get paid? Never. Right now, it's never. Because we literally are falling behind. We do not have the funds to continue to maintain our roads at their current level. It will continue to deteriorate in perpetuity until voters decide to put some more money into the coffers. The reality is, that's how the city runs.
Right.
I mean, people think that magically there's money there, but this is a fund that does not grow. It only grows if voters put tax money into it.
Yeah.
So, I just, the reality is they have greater fuel economy, and they're heavier, they're wearing the roads down at a faster rate. The money pile is dwindling. It's not even staying the same as what it was. So, I don't know, that's my concern. And so if it doesn't pass this year, it's back on the ballot next year until people see,
So
I can't do this anymore.
So I'm hearing both here. Would it be better for us to stage something for the next council meeting to be able to get a vote on which direction that we're gonna go so that we can action in accordance with that guidance?
Or you
Maybe-
just want
Probably
to
there's
And
5
maybe
of
give
us here.
us
Yeah.
2 or 3 options.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
We'll put it together and make that so. All right. We solved all the world's problems right now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It will be interesting to see from a national perspective. Obviously the news today is that, there's been a signature now with Iran. If we could be facing a pretty different fuel price scenario in October, November than where we are.
Yeah.
Maybe not, but,
I think it's just to make up for the closing of the strait. They said it's like 6 to 9 months to get everything back online. It's gonna be.
Yeah, no, the conditions in the world right now certainly aren't helping our case. But, all right, so then we'll make sure we have something staged for the next one. We have our guidance for the first charter. We have our guidance for this one, and unless you have anything else that you would like to
No,
ask.
but I'd like to, when you're saying bringing back a couple options, can you kind of paraphrase what those options might be right now?
The way I see it is I think I didn't hear any strong opinions about anything more than 3 cents a gallon. Other than, I take it back with
Yeah,
your,
I said you could go to 5
right.
and then say 10 years.
So then I would say the options we'd bring back to you would be maybe the 5 cents with the limited duration, and then the 3 cents in perpetuity. That being your two options to vote on in the.
Well, yeah, but what
Do
if
you need them to
everybody,
vote?
there should be a third one, like the 3 cent. with-
Third should be the 3 cent.
Yeah,
limited
with
duration.
with the.
Oh, third cent limited
Yeah, yeah.
duration? Okay,
There
okay,
should be
so
the
then,
3 of them then.
okay, then we'll do that.
So I guess, I know Justin's just probably gonna not.
He's gonna vote no, yeah.
Yeah, so, and you're only missing Denise, so is this what, I guess I'm just wondering, like, do we need direction at the council meeting? Do you guys want to have more discussion, or do you wanna just make that consensus decision now?
I didn't think we were allowed to make decisions and
No,
work
kind of
plans.
kind of a nod to you that this is what we want.
Yeah,
But
well,
we
with the, I know that we did with the charter stuff, cause we had you do the ballot tally, so for consensus, we're not making a
We can make
decision, we're
consensus
just.
on work.
It's
Yeah.
kind of a consensus to go in that direction. It's not really
So
consensus.
you
So
can
then-
prepare a ballot
I
tally.
wanna make sure I'm hearing you saying that we can put all 3 of those on the ballot?
No,
No, no, no.
I'm
They would
saying
just
you
have
guys can
consensus.
discuss and
Yeah.
in consensus,
We're not
make a
making
decision on a 3% sunset or a 5% sunset right now.
No,
But you're not getting consensus.
And then that way it gives him the direction to work on a ballot tally.
That's, okay, that's what I was driving at. Okay, so then those 3 options that we just discussed, we'll bring them on the first, and then we'll vote on it, and then what comes from that will determine what goes to the ballot.
They can't get
Correct.
consensus today.
Right.
Should you wanna, and then, like a resolution, you know how we did one last, should
Yeah.
we do 3 different ones, or should we go ahead and vote on that on August?
You can just do one resolution.
Okay, maybe I'll ask you for help
Yeah.
on how to word
Yeah,
that,
we got that.
however direction we go in.
So that's it?
That's it.
All right.
Oh,
The resolution.
anybody have any other questions?
It's gonna be Justin's time.
Yeah, we're agreeing.
Yeah, we have to, like, to refer, gotta do the resolution ordinance. So.
Any other discussion, you guys? I guess